questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told WDF don't switch, good times are coming, don't even deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch along, still the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South, they flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
Yes guys, good morning. Welcome back to Eagle Eyed Football. This is the start of the Sheffield United away match vlog. Looking forward to it, first game of the season. Gonna go pick up Rich soon. And yeah, let's get into it. See you at the game.
Big up everyone, it's the road trip. It is Sheffield United away. First game of the season, won't lie. Nervous. I just want us to get the 3 points and get out of there as quickly as possible. They've signed Hammer last night. I don't think he'll be eligible to play today. Obviously for us, we've just got so much like question marks, you know. So I think it's literally just a case of get today out the way. We're gonna go about 9 days before we then face Arsenal at home, and then hopefully we'll get a bit more clarity as to the direction we are going. I'm here with JC as well and such. Keep you on the road, oh my god. How are you feeling about today?
You know what? It's a game where I'm confident that we're going to win, but it also wouldn't surprise me if we didn't win, if we lost, like a 1-0 or something stupid like that, just because of how Palace is. Obviously they've got their news of Hammer. Even though he's not going to play today, it's still a bit of uplifting news where we've just had down. But you know what? I'm looking forward to it. First away game of the season, first game of the season for us as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Enjoy the vlog, guys.
Yeah, this is it. So, especially for me, I don't get to many away games just because I'm still playing myself, and those parish points are peak. So I'm definitely going to enjoy this one. Look forward to the day. Look forward to obviously seeing some of you guys down in Sheffield and along the way. So you enjoyed the vlog, and yeah, it's what it is.
Show you some real speed.
Yes guys, we made it to Watford Gap. It's time for a food review. Got the English breakfast. I've got a mighty McMuffin. I've never had it before, but first bite. Definitely a 10. Haven't had a McMuffin in a long time. We've also got a hash brown here. It's always a 10, man. Like I said, hold tight for Rich's food review. Rich, how's the food review going?
I can't believe you've roped me into this, honestly. Anyway, I've gone for the sausage and bacon roll. Stuck the hash brown in there too. Solid 8 out of 10. Well, we're here. We're in Sheffield now. A couple miles away from Bramall Lane. Obviously, we do the usual, go meet up with other fans before the game, and now the excitement's starting to build. I'm having a good feeling about Eddie today, you know, personally. Hodgson has come out and said, listen, he expects more from him. So, yeah, hopefully he can start that today and start on the front foot. JC?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to see how Eze plays, because obviously the last 2 times he's played, he's run the length of the pitch and scored. So, you know, he's got a good run of form against Sheffield United. So maybe he could drag some form from last season and from his previous experiences against Sheffield United into this game. I'm looking forward to seeing how Anderson plays, because there were some times in pre-season against Lyon where he did look a little bit ropey. So I'm looking forward to seeing that extra week so of training, and also seeing how we set up actually, because it's quite interesting. Because as we were speaking, that if there's going to be any game to start Ratsaki, it'll probably be today, because this is probably one of the weaker teams in the Premier League, and if there's a time to throw in a youngster and see what's going to happen, it's going to be this game, because the transfer window is still open, and let's say if you can't hack it now, then you probably say, yeah, you can let him go on loan and get someone else in who has got the quality. So I think the team selection is going to be interesting. I'd hope for a Raksaki, but I could almost guarantee it's going to be the same team that played against Lyon.
Yeah, I'm expecting that as well. Because you even got the likes of Hamada, who had a brilliant start to pre-season, then we just didn't see him after that. So yeah, it's just a waiting game. It's just a waiting game. But yeah, we'll keep it locked to this vlog, and we'll be speaking to fans very shortly.
Enjoy. Eagle Eye Football here. We're in the pub and we found some Palace fans. Joined here with Will.
Hello.
What's your thoughts on the game today?
Sorry?
What's your thoughts on the game today?
I think we'll win 2-0. Be a bit of a grind, I think. Interested to see how the team forms under Hodgson. Interested to see what the team attitude is. Elise, Gehi obviously appear unsettled. But yeah, be interested to see how it plays out. Living in Sheffield myself, Blades think this might be a sneaky win to start with. So yeah, it's going to be tough.
I think it's one of them games where I wouldn't be surprised if we lost, because it has happened before. But with the likes of Elise being out with no Zaha, do you think we'll be able to cope this season, or do you think we need a bit more in the transfer window?
I think the positions that we've lost with Zaha are fine to fill. We're looking at other areas, I think, in terms of depth. Right backs always seem to be Palace's weakness. We still
haven't replaced Darren, really.
No, we haven't. No, not since he went. So I think we're kind of looking in those areas, and always, centre forwards. But a lot of Premiership teams seem to struggle with those positions. So I think, losing Zaha, not a massive issue. We'll be fine in that position. So.
Are you still happy with the appointment of Roy for another season, or would you have rathered someone else come in?
Well, when Roy got reappointed, I was one of those moaners. I'm going to be honest. I was the moaner. I was the guy I can't believe we've kind of invested in the team. We got Vieira in, playing this new style of football. Lost Gallagher, didn't back him with a replacement, had to revert to a different style. Got Hodgson in, and I was like, right, we're going to go back to that, 80-20 split on possession and just mop it up.
Yeah.
But fair play to him. Came in, got the best out of those players, and we're playing a really good brand of football now. So in terms of who is available on the market, I think Hodgson is a wise appointment for 12 months until someone decent comes back into the market. So
100%. I thought when Hodgson came back, it was going to be going back to that style of football, but he played a very similar style to Vieira in his first season. He started playing very progressive attacking football, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. Do you think he'll be able to keep that style of play into this season as well, or do you think he'll struggle?
I hope so. I think he'll be able to, having retained the players that we've managed to retain. Like I said, we've lost Zaha, but we've got the Elises, we've got Eze's, firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
It's just that centre forward, I think, that we're going to really struggle to get the goals from.
Finally, what's your score prediction?
2-0 Palace.
Out the Palace. Cheers.
Eagle Eye Football here with Mike. First things first, as a Palace fan, what's your thoughts for the upcoming season?
I think with Roy being in, but we have got some new players in, a bit more exciting football. I do think we do tend to favour that mid-table position. So I think, being honest, unless something dramatic changes in the transfer market, we're probably aiming for that mid-table position.
You mentioned about, obviously, the transfer market, and I feel we've been very slow. How many more players do you think we need to push up maybe towards that top 10 position this season?
I'd probably say 2 or 3. We have lost players, but we've brought Lerma in, for example. We've got a couple of others in, but I think they're injured. I think Lewis Hall is also potentially coming as a loanee, but that's kind of up in the air. He may be losing Elise. Every football fan wants lots of players to come in, but this is Crystal Palace, so I can imagine that maybe we'll get hopefully 2 more in, but ideally we'd get 3, and then obviously there's a potential goalkeeper issue, so I'd say 3, but I don't think we'll get that.
And not to put you on the spot, if you were the board owner and you only could bring in 2 players, what 2 players would you look to bring in?
I don't know. What 2 players would I... So I think, I don't want to say, oh, if Edouard starts scoring goals, it's a new signing, but I do think we lack what we have done for a long time. We've lacked a good quality striker. Although I like Joel Ward as much as I do, I think he's been around for quite a long time now, so he probably needs some replacements around there. And obviously, again, it depends. If we keep Elise, then I think that's fine. But if he goes, then we do need a bit more of an attacking spirit. But in terms of player names, hopefully somebody will come up in the transfer market. I'm not sure. So.
Just lastly, thoughts on the upcoming game. Obviously, we're hours away from kick-off against Sheffield United, and your score prediction.
Yeah, I think it will be surprisingly tough. I know Sheffield United have lost some players, but I think they'll be well organised. It depends on how Roy wants to play it, so it'd be nice to continue the attacking flair, but I do think he may revert to kind of type and that defensive. But I do still think, because of United losing their players, it'll be a Palace 1-0 win.
I'll take a Palace 1-0 win. I'll take any 3 points today to kick off the season. Mike, appreciate you. Up the Palace.
Making our way to the stadium now. It's 2 o'clock. The team is out. In goal, we have Sam Johnstone with Wardy as captain, with Mark Gay, Anderson and Mitchell completing the back line. In midfield, we've got Jefferson Lerma, Cheick Doucouré and Ebere Eze. Up front, we've got Ayew, Schlupp and Odsonne Edouard. Same team as the Lyon game. The only difference is that Klein has been swapped for Mitchell, who is fit again now. On the bench, we've got Remy Matthews, James Tompkins, Nathaniel Klein, Chris Richards, Jara Riedewald, Ahamada, Ratsaki, John Kamani-Gordon and John Philippe Mateta. You know what? I'm not sad. I'm not upset. Potentially Jez could get a few minutes today, depending on the scenario of the game. Looking forward to it. Pretty good team lineup. Really not much else Hodgson could do. Rich, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, not much more we could feel, to be fair, considering our situation as it stands. I am happy that Mitchell's back. Not that Klein did anything necessarily wrong, but just having a natural left-footed player on the left-hand side would obviously open up the pitch a bit more for us. And the way that we've been playing with the pivot of Doucouré and Lerma, Mitchell can now afford to bomb on, because one of the two will cover. And I'm sure the same with Ward. With Ward's side.
Even we don't know who's playing. I've sold a couple by today.
We're having the same issues about selling players too, don't you worry. So yeah, it's literally just a waiting game now. I'm on the road to Bramall Lane then shortly, and let's head up the Palace. Let's get these 3 points and get out of here.
Chairman, what do you think of the team lineup today?
Yeah, I don't really see what else he could have done, to be honest with you. I think the only dilemma was was Mitchell fit, and obviously he is, and he was going to play. Can't really see what else he could do. I mean, as he said in his press conference, we do lack depth, don't we, and choice, and that's the problem. It is such an easy choice. If you asked 100 Palace fans to name 11, they would name the same 10 players, and there'd be a couple of changes. That's it. So that just shows we need more depth. But I'm happy. I mean, we're here, so it's a nice day, and looking forward to the game. And hopefully we can score a goal, get a point, or get 3, be even better, and start the season off properly. So up the Palace.
We're in. Rich, we're in Bramall Lane. What's your thoughts on the stadium? First time here?
I'm pretty impressed actually. It's nice. The layout's good. The scoreboard's easy to see. Yeah, I mean, obviously the ground's starting to fill up. I'm sure it'll be a sellout today from their end. Obviously, they're back in the Prem. And yeah, listen, hopefully I can get to many more away games. But yeah, happy to be here, 100%.
Definitely, atmosphere's building, getting a bit more nervous now, but definitely looking forwards to it. Edouard's looking hungry, Schlupp's looking hungry as well, he's finishing. He's not hungry for steak, he's hungry for goals today, which is a good difference, but you know, I'm looking forward to it. Excitement's building, only a few minutes left to kick off. We'll see what happens. Up the Palace.
Here you go.
Half time at Bramall Lane, Crystal Palace 0, Sheffield United 0. You know what? We've controlled this game. We've had 70% possession, 13 shots, only 3 on target, unfortunately. Some bright sparks. Eze's been incredible. I'm very impressed with Ayew, and Edouard has been a revelation. Showing for the ball, driving with the ball, shooting, doing everything a striker needs to do. Not hiding. Lerma, wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow, what a player Lerma is. Mitchell, we were very harsh on him at the start of the game. However, the more the game's dragged on, the more we've realised it's actually Schlupp. Schlupp's giving him no help. Schlupp seems to be lost in this midfield. He's hiding from the ball, and we're not playing to the best of our abilities. Everyone else on the pitch is playing very well. Anderson done a chop and sent some players to the shots, man. Imagine big centre-back doing that to you, you know. However, absolutely incredible so far. Looking forward to seeing what we do. I'd like to see Schlupp come off the pitch. Maybe 60 minutes, maybe a little bit later, but maybe move Ayew over to Schlupp's side and then put Raksaki on the right. We're really struggling down the left, and they seem to have our left side on lockdown. Rich, what are you thinking?
You're spot on there. You're spot on, especially with the aspect of width. So in an attacking phase, like Mitchell will get the ball, and he's looking down the line, and it's either Eze or Eddie are having to make 2 or 3 different runs.
Or it's a pass back to Gay again.
Yeah, or he's passing it back. Where Schlupp should be, that's where the width is. You know, I understand he's tucking in to obviously try and support Eddie, but we need the width. I mean, towards the end of the first half, Eze went out wide because there was literally 0 width down their side. And I've noticed that Sheffield United they're targeting Mitchell because he's going to have no support. Apart from that, we rode the early storm, which we said we needed to do. The crowd were up for it, the players were up for it, and such. We rode that wave. We've kept the crowd fairly quiet. We just need to find that goal. I think we get the goal. I think we can then maybe get 2, maybe 3. But that first goal is crucial.
Whenever they come forwards and whenever they get a set piece, I get worried because every single time they've got a different routine and they seem to trouble us every time. Do you think that we can keep the clean sheet with these set pieces? Also, a madness has happened on Twitter. If you've seen what Gaita's put on Twitter, we'll probably talk about it on stream either tomorrow or another day. But it's not looking good for the club or him. So some beef is happening.
We'll add the screenshot to this as well. We'll add the screen. It's poor from him. It's very childish and petulant. I'm just even now. I'm just making sure. Is it him? Is it him? Is it him?
It's him.
And yeah, looking at the count because you know it could be a fake. It's him. It's just. It's stupid. To reply back to the Palace Twitter account after the team line that's up with that is stupid.
You're a donut. You're so stupid. You're so stupid. You're stupid.
Just go. Just go.
Well, the things to change in the second half, what would you say? Or do you think that we could carry on like this and maybe a sub for Schlupp for Raksaki later on?
If we're not changing the personnel, we just need Schlupp to play wide. Don't worry about tucking in. Because to be fair, Eddie's actually doing a decent enough job of getting everyone else involved in play. Once we get that width, I think then we can have overloads and then Mitchell can bomb on himself. He's not bombing on because he's thinking, right, I'm having to run back by myself. Lerma's covering all over the pitch has been brilliant, which allowed the Corey to not have to tackle, which is another observation and stuff. So yeah, we just need to get that goal though.
Still confident in the second half?
Yeah, I think we are. Obviously we had a goal disallowed as well. I don't know if we mentioned that. Ayew headed in, but it was offside after Anderson had a shot. But I think that's what we're going to have to do. Our centre-backs or our midfielders are just going to have to take shots. But it's not going to be that type of game where we're able to break them down time and time again.
Definitely. Well, let's see what happens second half. Going up the Palace.
Big win. Come on. Get in.
Get in there.
Finished Sheffield United 0, Palace 1, and a really, really important win. It's so important, especially against newly promoted sides, to be able to just get 3 points on the board. And funny enough, everything we discussed prior to the match, it worked out in that manner and such. First 10 minutes, you could tell they were proper on it. Fans were behind them. It was loud. Like when you go Bramall Lane, like it's kind of like a cauldron the way they've set up the stadium, and so you could really hear the fans, you know. And we kind of had to just ride that wave. Like they had like early corners and such, which we dealt with well. And then after that, we literally took full control, and it was kind of, all right, can we get that first goal? We had a shot from Anderson, edge of the box, which was parried by the keeper. Ayew heads it in. We're thinking, yes, there you go, the goal that we deserved, the goal that we needed. But that got called offside. You know, one observation that we did make was that in the first half we just lacked a lot of width. Schlupp was just too narrow. Mitchell had no support offensively and defensively. You know, so Mitchell kept having to pass the ball backwards, and then whenever he did pass it forward, Schlupp wasn't really running for it. So that was a bit annoying. But I felt we controlled the game really well. Got the goal very early in the second half. Ayew did amazingly down the right hand side, whips the ball in, and Eddie's there to poke it home. And from there, literally, it was game management. I think we just had one scare. I don't know who it was, but they shot to like side netting. But apart from that, yeah, very professional performance. JC?
I think I agree. Completely professional performance today. We went to Bramall Lane and done the business, really. I'm not going to say that it was an easy game, because it was far from an easy game. And also it was one of those games where the longer it went 1-0 and the luck wasn't against us, was against us really, with all these offside. What are you doing? Yeah, the luck was against us with the offsides and the no goals and this and that. But every time they went forwards, they were dangerous. They had a few players. That Traore, they got him for no money whatsoever, but he gives 100% of the time of the game. He was everywhere. He was running. He was strong on the ball, and he made a nuisance of himself, didn't he? And that's exactly what a forward needs to do in the Premier League these days. I think that we were controlling, we were good on the ball, and we were patient. But as you said earlier, the width from Schlupp and how he just exposed Mitchell and left him out to dry really was pretty hard to watch. Because as you said, we were drilling Mitchell, saying not good enough. When Hall comes in, this, that. But when you look at it and analyse it a little bit further, it's actually Schlupp. And because he's so used to playing in midfield, he's drifting too far inside. He's not giving us that width. But when we swapped and put Eze out wide, and Schlupp sort of picked up a 10 position, because Eze was hugging the touchline, he dragged the player out wide and gave Schlupp a lot of room in the middle to work and do what he needed to do. That's why his performance was so much better in the second half, because he was playing more as a 10. But other than that, extremely professional performance from us today. I'm very happy that we've started the season off with 3 points. Don't really care how we done it, but we've got 3 points. We're going to the Champions League.
We're fourth as it stands. But yeah, no, like I said, professional performance. A lot of people have said about Roy. lack of substitutions. I just don't. And this is just my personal opinion.
The balance was perfect. How Royd set up the starting 11 was perfect.
Yeah.
We nullified them. We attacked them. The team was man for man, probably the best team we could have filled for this game today.
Yeah.
And the sub was only made as a precaution because Mark was injured.
Yeah.
If Mark wasn't getting injured or wasn't limping, we would not have made a sub today.
No.
Roy got it spot on.
And I think this game wasn't the one to make the sub.
No.
You know, personally, with the lack of bench depth and kind of just the inexperience on the bench as well, to be fair.
Yeah, I think with what I said earlier, with saying that if there's any game to play Ratsaki, this is the one. It really wasn't in reality. Like, obviously, looking at the game in hindsight, after watching the game, it's definitely not the game for Ratsaki. It was too physical. It was probably a bit too fast. And I don't know whether he would have crumbled under the pressure. I'd like to think that he's good enough to not crumble, but definitely Roy got a spot on today.
Absolutely. Next up, we'll do player ratings. Right, we're back with the player ratings. We'll start off with Sam Johnston. I'll let you have this one.
His distribution was class. Coming out and getting the ball was class as well. Didn't really get troubled too much. I believe they only had 2 shots on target all game. But did what he needed to do, and his one-touch distribution was incredible. I'm giving him an 8.
Next up, Joe Ward. Solid game. Solid game. Did everything right. He kept everything very simple. You know, didn't try anything extravagant. I don't think he was ever caught out either.
Wardy done really well attacking as well. He was very high up the pitch.
Yeah. What did I give? You know, I'll give Wardy a 9. I'm going to give him a 9. And such, because I think
I don't believe he got caught out at all in the game either, did he?
And like I said, he was so advanced as well. Him and Ayo formed a really good partnership, by the way. Mark.
Mate, future England captain.
He's so good.
Future England captain. There was a point in the game where they were running through and he somehow put his leg around their striker as they were running into the box, but the ball just stuck to his foot. He's got the burns to get back if he's caught out of position. The amount of times he took some touches and dribbled forwards with the ball, taking a few players out and then passing it into the midfield. If Wardy gets a 9, Mark gets a 9 as well. Absolutely outstanding, and definitely future England captain, 100%.
Yeah. Joachim Anderson. You know what?
Chop.
He chopped one of their players in the first half, which was mad. And he had obviously the shot that led to the first disallowed goal.
That was swerving as well.
It was, yeah. You know what? A lot of people may talk about his passing today, but he couldn't do the diags because we had no width. And there was times Eddie didn't come short quick enough for that one as well. But all in all, I think he had a good game, but I just think Mark had a better game. So I'm going to give him an 8. Mitchell.
I think Mitchell's rating's only going to be lower because he didn't have any help and he was really hung out to dry.
Yeah.
However, I'll still give him a 7 because I think there were some times in the game where he made a mistake but he made up for it really well. He's actually started to dribble inside a lot more, and another thing is that he's actually using his right foot to pass now. I don't know if you noticed that as well.
I did, yeah.
And it's actually improved his game so much, just being able to use his right foot for anything.
Yeah.
Because he was so left-footed that the right side of my brain turned off when I watched him play football. But yeah, I think a 7 is still, in my opinion, a little bit generous. But I think for the fact that he had a harder job than he really needed to in this game, and he done what needed to be done, I can't fault him really. 7.
I'm going to take Jefferson Lerma.
Can I give him a 10, please?
Alright, done. Man of the match, unbelievable.
Jefferson
everywhere. His aerial abilities unreal.
For a guy that's not even 6 foot to beat everyone in the air I want to know what his aerial duels are because I'm sure it's 100% win.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
sure
crazy. Absolutely crazy. And he did one thing where he headed the ball to himself, which was mad.
I think Anderson pinged the ball up top.
Yeah.
He jumped, nodded it over the defender, spun the defender, and then ran in behind.
And he knew what he was doing. It was intentional.
It was on purpose. It wasn't like Mateta against Leicester. It was on purpose.
All right, since you took Lerma, I'll take Decore. It's so nice that he didn't have to do much.
No.
Because last season we were so used to seeing him
He's got the help.
left back, right back, centre mid, like everywhere, and now he's got help. He just held his position and just kept the ball ticking. I guess because we're so used to 9s with Decore, this was a very basic game for him. I'll give him a 7. It sounds harsh, but I think because his standards are mad high.
I get why you put him as a lower rating because last season he set the bar
mad,
so high. But obviously with the formation, you got two pivots, you got two DMs. You allow the fullbacks to go up high, and when they went up high and then they were supposedly exposed, one of them just slotted into the right back. Lerma slotted into left back. It works so well, and they play like they've been playing in the same team as each other for years.
Yeah, absolutely.
They absolutely outstanding.
Ebbs
caused problems all game.
All game.
And Ebbs just caused problems all game, and it's just silky smooth, isn't he? Everything he does is smooth. He's gliding past people. When people try to rough him up, get off me, gone. And yeah. Only gripe today with Ez, so I'll give him a 9, but the only gripe with him today is when he should have drilled it, he placed it, and whenever he placed it, he should have drilled it.
He could have scored today.
He could have scored a few today. I think that's the only gripe I've got of him today. Other than that, perfect game, 9.
Jordan Ayew.
Second.
Listen,
my man of the match.
Jordan Ayew, we have to get off his back this season. Yes, we know he doesn't score enough goals and such, but what he offers this team, and especially without Elise and Zaha, what he offers is unreal. He was it's literally, Lerma had so much of a good game. That's why Ayew is not man of the match, in my personal opinion.
100%.
So yeah, I'll give him a 9, very high 9. But yeah, Ayew, brilliant today. He got the assist for his goal.
I would still give Ayew a 10, but he's just not man of the match.
Could do.
But then again, actually no, I agree with you. If he was onside and scored that goal, he's also getting a 10.
That's a good point, yeah. I'm giving you Schlappy.
5.
A game of 2 halves, pretty much, isn't it? Yeah.
5. If you rate his first half, it's a 2. If you rate his second half, it's a 7. So I think a 5 is about fair. Obviously, in the first half, we've complained about already. He wasn't doing the width. He wasn't doing the winger's job. But in the second half, when Ez went out wide and he had space through the middle, he was impressive. Took some shots that he took were lazy. To be fair, he looked like he couldn't be asked to run forwards, but he just had a shot. He wasn't pressing. He wasn't pressuring the back line at all. But you know, it's a slut thing, isn't it? Like, you'll have some absolutely outstanding games from him, and then other times you just get schlup, innit? One time where he broke through the middle and he had a shot on goal. Probably should have scored actually, but he hit it straight at the keeper. But yeah, I think a 5 is about fair. I don't think that's too generous. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. He did massively improve second half, and that was more so due to Eze going out wide. And like you already mentioned earlier, like the fact that he went out wide, it just took out one of their 3 centre backs, which created space in the middle. Lastly, Eddie, please perform like that all season. The attitude, the energy, the drive, the one-touch passing, the link-up play. It's just a shame that obviously the second goal we scored, the second disallowed goal.
The build-up for it was
The build-up
incredible.
was mad. From right to left, all across the box, tapping for Eddie. It was incredible. It's a shame he couldn't get another goal, but I think all round, I'll give him a 9 as well. You know, for his all-round game. Which leaves Tompkins, the only sub.
5. Didn't do anything. Wasn't on for long enough to really do anything, so it's a standard 5.
Listen, big up guys, hope you enjoyed this vlog.
Hodgson.
Oh yeah, Hodgson and the fans, my bad, before I get in trouble. Roy got it spot on. He got it spot on. 10 for me. Got everything spot on. Like, we literally nullified them. Like, we kept Bramall Lane quiet, and that we knew that was going to be hard to do. So a 10 from me, you?
Yeah, even though certain people didn't agree with me with my rating of 10 for him at the Leon match, which I've seen your comments, don't you worry, I've seen them. But I'll give Roy a 10 as well, man. Balance was perfect, team selection was perfect, tactics was perfect, and yeah, I can't really say anything else other than that.
The fans get a 10 as well. Listen, Sheffield United tried to give it this all big, and they had this song at the start, which was a bit like, They were loud for a couple minutes, and that was it. We took over. Anytime they did get a corner, you could hear the noise.
They celebrated corners like they celebrated goals.
Yeah, they were loud for corners.
They were loud, and I think sort of going into the fans rating, I'm not saying we were louder than Sheffield United, but I'd say we gave them a good run for their money. I'm pretty sure that our fans were loud all game.
Yeah.
Even when it was 0-0 and both teams were playing a bit rubbish in the first half, we were still singing. Our fans were still giving their fans a little bit of abuse, and they were giving it back as well. So the banter was great. I give our fans a 9, man. I think the only thing to make it a 10 as well is probably if the goal was scored right in front of us. Because the goal was so far away, the celebration is a bit.
Yeah.
But
no, you know, I agree that 9.
other than that, good job, guys.
Right, I've covered everything now, right?
Yeah, and I think the only downer for this game is we didn't score enough goals, and that's a good thing to have a problem for. It's like we have the chances, just putting it in the net now. So
24 shots.
We're getting there. 24 shots. I think 8 on target. I think we had 69% possession.
Yeah.
So on paper we dominated, but in reality it was a very close game. But guys, thank you very much for watching. This is the first vlog of the season. Crystal Palace 1, Sheffield United 0. Thank you guys very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for the build up to next week's match. Arsenal at Selhurst Park.
100%.
Up the Palace.
Eagles!